Hey everyone, my name is Mulder and welcome to GameChron, your go-to stop for tips and tricks on your favorite video games. We continue our Star Wars journey in Star Wars Squadrons Gameplay Tips and Tricks Part 3. In this Star Wars Squadrons tips video, I'll be going over the TIE Reaper and the U-Wing and what ship components I'm currently running with these starfighters, along with how I've been using them on the battlefield. All that and more straight ahead. If you enjoy this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for a lot more. We have a couple more starfighters to cover for this game, along with plenty more videos planned, but for right now, sit back and relax and enjoy our Star Wars Squadrons tips video. Let's take a dive into the TIE RP Reaper first. Now my TIE RP Reaper has a max hull of 1600, which is high, max shields, which is at 1200, which is also high, max speed, which is 130, which is normal, max acceleration, which is at 237.6, which is high, and my maneuverability is at 45.5, which is low. My primary weapon is the standard laser cannon, left auxiliary is the supply droid, right auxiliary is the seeker mind, countermeasures is chaff particles, hull is reinforced hull, shields are fortified deflector, and the engine is the propulsor engine. Now my TIE Reaper is designed for heavy support from my allies while also making sure my ship has plenty of health and powerful shields to withstand heavy enemy attacks. The thing about support ships in this game, especially the TIE Reaper, is that they're very easy to spot on the battlefield, thanks to their sheer size. So having the fortified deflector for your shields allows you to have the max shields possible for this ship. Keep in mind that once your shields do drop down to 0, you will need to find a health kit somewhere in order to replenish them. Thanks to having high acceleration, I'm able to pull my Reaper out of danger whenever needed, but if an enemy is following me, that's when my seeker mind comes in handy. But the most important thing about this Reaper ship and the U-Wing when I get to it is of course the supply droid. The supply droid is the backbone that is going to keep your team alive and get a high kill count over your enemies in any given battle. Whenever your ally is low on health and you have a supply droid available, lock onto your ally and launch the supply droid, which it will fly quickly to lock onto your ally. The supply droid can not only replenish health to your ally but also give them a little extra ammo. In a lot of the dogfights that I've been flying in with the TIE Reaper with my friends, I've been able to supply and keep them alive long enough to where we've had a deficit of around 23 kills to just 9 of the enemies. Not to mention the fact that the TIE Reaper's standard laser cannons do pack a powerful punch. Comboing this with a seeker mine in case if an ally tries to fly past you or tries to outmaneuver you, you can finish off a lot of enemies very quickly. Comboing this with dropping supply droids to keep your allies alive, you'll just steamroll through your opponents. Now there is another ship component to where you can launch over shields to your allies if needed, but personally I like the supply droid better. Having your propulsor engine giving you the acceleration you need to get out of danger while also having a reinforced hull for extra health really makes the TIE Reaper a monster on the field, while also racking up a decent kill count, so I'm really enjoying my TIE Reaper build so far. But now let's talk about the U-Wing Gunship build that I'm currently running. My U-Wing's max hull is at 1600, which is high, max shields is at 1200, which is also high, max speed is at 91, which is low, max acceleration is 50.4, which is low, but my maneuverability is at 73.5, which is high. My primary weapon is the standard laser cannon, left auxiliary is the supply droid, right auxiliary is the turret mine, but I've also been using the carbonated targeting beacons as well. Countermeasures is the particle burst, hull is reinforced hull, shields are fortified deflector, and engine is the micro thrust engine. Now the build that I have for my U-Wing is very similar to my TIE Reaper, as you can see. Being in the midst of combat with your allies and dropping supply droids to them when they're low on health can definitely turn the tide of any fight. But the biggest thing about this build is that I really enjoy using both the turret mine and the carbonated targeting beacons. The turret mine can be shot in front of your ship to where you can deploy this thing in the midst of dogfights. Be wise in how you use your turret mine. It has very low health but a long range to lock onto targets. I've actually gotten a couple kills out of nowhere because I dropped this thing in the midst of combat to where my enemies were too busy trying to fight my allies, which of course helping my allies with a supply droid, it just made the whole thing just unfair for my enemies to have to fight. But if you're not a big fan of the turret mine, I definitely say give the carbonated targeting beacons a try. The carbonated targeting beacons work as to where they lock onto an enemy target to where it becomes marked both for you and your allies to see. When that enemy is marked, they can no longer use countermeasures off their starfighter. Not to mention the fact that any allies or yourself that damage him will do extra damage automatically. So if there's an enemy with high shields or high maneuverability that both you and your allies are having a hard time pinned down, use the carbonated target beacons to take away their countermeasures and do a little extra damage to knock them out of the sky faster. Another difference between this and my Reaper build is that my micro thrust engine allows my craft to have a higher maneuverability while still taking a bit of a hit in both its speed and acceleration. Because the standard version of the U-Wing makes it a bit cumbersome to control, I wanted to increase my maneuverability a bit. Of course, this aircraft needs high health and high shields, so the reinforced hull and the fortified deflector will come in handy. The U-Wing definitely doesn't pack, in my opinion, a powerful punch compared to the TIE Reaper, but it's still a great support class vehicle. Now I will have to say, one of the key successes I've had both with the TIE Reaper and the U-Wing with these builds is because I've been playing with friends, but more importantly, I've always had someone covering my back like an extra wingman just in case. Regardless of what type of build you choose to follow with the TIE Reaper or the U-Wing, the biggest thing about this aircraft is that it needs constant wingman support, at least if you're trying to support your allies. And more importantly, for those of you out there that don't tend to like to play as the TIE Reaper or the U-Wing, but you do see someone on your team who is flying one of these aircraft, give them some protection. I kid you not, my friends and I have come back from 10 points down deficit to then winning the match thanks to these aircraft. The fact that these two starfighter builds that I have can give out plenty of help to my allies, while also taking a bunch of punishment and dishing it back, it's very important to make sure that you do give a supporting role to the ship. The worst case scenario to ever be in is to where you're flying around one of these aircraft with no allies around, to where you're basically just a sitting duck. It really will turn the tide of any battle and give you just a plethora of wins for both you and your allies, especially in ranked matches. But again, it's up to you. I would really like to know what type of TIE Reaper and U-Wing builds you currently are running, so definitely drop a comment below. And as always, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for a lot more. The next video I'll be making will be focusing on the TIE Interceptor and of course the A-Wing. So be sure to stick around for our Star Wars Squadrons tips video part 4. I have quite a few videos left planned for this game, but as always, I'll also be covering Watch Dogs Legions when that comes out, Assassin's Creed Valhalla, Cyberpunk 2077, Far Cry 6, and so much more. So be sure to subscribe so you're around when those games drop. I look forward to diving into those games with you, but until then, I'm Mulder, and I'll see you next time in the GameChron.
Absolutely not!